What is going on, chat? Let's get ready in a couple of minutes here. We'll be ready to go. Just give us a minute.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Go to Discord on the
2,
stream.
1.
That.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Knights of Teleria podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely, lovely Sunday afternoon. We got a lot of things to talk about this week. First of all, Plarium has been sold. We've got The Void coming sometime soon. And then we got a response for, I guess we'll take it as a response, on what they're going to do with Serpent's Will. But that said, before we get too far into the show, let's introduce our panels for today. In the red box, Mr. Streamer of the Year, Mr. FinalKenpachi, who has decided that he can take on Mike Tyson. How are we doing?
I was doing good, bro, till yesterday. Yesterday, before I make a breakfast, 6 a.m., I wasn't expecting to see Mike Tyson booty. But, you know, respect. Fight was good, I think. I don't know. I'm not really watching the boxing game, you know. I don't know. Some people saying it's pre-recorded. Not pre-recorded, but you know what I mean? Like, fake fight. But it was good to see Mike Tyson again, so I'm okay with that. How about you guys?
Okay. Chat, let us know. Do you guys think that Ken would have a chance versus Mike Tyson? I'd love to hear that.
I am younger, by the way, just saying.
But you do weigh like what, 100 pounds?
I don't know pounds, but I'm 59 kilogram right now. Can somebody calculate it on the chat?
You could fit in my computer box, I think.
I have experience with that.
Yeah, see, so next up we got a live top 100 live arena player, Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, what is going on, brother? How are you?
You know, I'm only top 100 because I play it so much, I think.
Still top 100. Still top 100.
So I guess. I don't know. I don't want to be like because there's so many accounts that just like roll over me, and I'm not just saying one's above me, but whatever. I'm doing great, brother. How you doing, man? What's happening?
Doing good. Any good crazy pulls this weekend on the 2X?
No, I had like 30, pulled them all, nothing. I haven't gotten anything in a long time, man. I'm hoping for some good champ coming out for a fusion or something, man. It's 2X mythicals. That's really what I'm waiting on. So
okay. Next up, we got my favorite late night streamer and that sexy green light right behind him, Mr. MXPJ. PJ, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing amazing. Watched the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. Kind of what I was expecting. I think it was a good show. We saw Mike fight, which was cool. The girls fight before that, you guys saw, that was actually really, really good. And then watched some UFC. John Jones was back, saw that. And happy to be talking about Raid with you guys here. We got a lot to discuss.
Awesome. And last but not least, we got the Dab Master all the way from Texas. How are you doing, sir?
What is up? Welcome to be here, or welcome. Glad to be here. You welcome. No.
You're welcome.
I'm just kidding.
I'm glad.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I pulled a little bit, and what's funny is I only had like 6 voids, and I don't want to talk about buying voids, but I might have bought some voids because I knew I was at Mercy, and I picked up a little Miss Annie Elf on the Mercy hit. So I was a little sad about that. It was my second one, but it did complete my undead faction guardian. So now I have plus 10 speed on all my undeads. So, that's always a bonus. And then because someone on my bracket, and I do kind of want to get Hansel, even though I've seen them in arena so far and they hit like trash to get even together. I was like, oof, this is not good. But the person in my bracket, finally I got in a good bracket, and he's only got like 10,300 points. And so I was like, I'll get a few more and see what I can get. And I ended up within 20 more shards. I got my first Saint Nick or whatever his name,
Sir Nick.
Yeah, Sir Nick.
Oh.
So I got him, and I hear he's not good, whatever. But
It was
I got
great
him.
back in the day, man.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
Few-
5 years
few
ago.
years too late. Yeah.
Back in the
whatever.
day.
He'll be a Vault Guardian. So we'll see.
okay.
Yeah, I watched the fights. That was fun. Oh, and then fun fact. So I did the whole Netflix thing to get it, and I've been meaning to watch a few things on Netflix. So one of my top 5 all time movies is Beverly Hills Cop. As a kid growing up, that was my favorite movie. So I got to watch the Axel F. Finally, I know it came out probably 6 months ago, and I just haven't re-upped a Netflix account to do it. But because of the Tyson fight, I had an excuse, and so I watched it live last night, and I actually personally was thoroughly impressed with it. I know like remakes or redo. It's not a remake or a redo, but drumming up old IP can sometimes be crappy. They've traditionally trashed old IPs, but yeah, it was good. It was good. How about you, Blazin? How was your weekend?
It was good. It was good. I kind of fell into the same trap as you did, and after I did it, I kind of hated myself. But I'm at 16,000 points for the champ chase. I'm not gonna lie. I regretted it after I did it. I was like, "What?
What'd you get?
Nothing crazy. So I ended up getting. I didn't even record a video because I was like, I'm so ashamed of myself. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to put it out there. But I was just sitting there pulling. So I ended up getting a dupe in E3. So now I have a +2 in E3. And then I did end up getting her Claudio.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. I mean, she was brand new, but Chat, what about you guys? Did you pull anything this weekend? Did you get any good voids? I saw a lot of people pulling a Yasu along with that new dwarf. The void dwarf.
He's my favorite, man. I really want him.
I'm going to be doing a showcase on him because actually Sus pulled him on his account and he's like, dude, I got him. So whenever you want him, he's yours. But I do see here, Darn pulled a muscle. Okay. 57 voids, 5 epics. Being useless actually did pull Iyasu, right, on his account. I know he's trying to downplay that, but he did pull that. We're working on a build for that. But yeah, so it was an interesting week. Again, I regret my decision with the voids, but hey, we live and learn, right? That said, I have a new mic, so I don't know, chat, if the sound is better or not, but I've decided, since we've been getting bigger and bigger with the podcast, I should probably start improving my audio quality. So you guys let me know if it's better or not. If not, I'll replace it and get a new one. So let's jump into it, though.
The only thing chat's saying is I need to be turned up a little bit.
You need to be turned up a little bit?
I know that's going to pain you to do that, considering
Are you sure, Chat?
on my rant.
Chat,
You're saying audio-wise,
you know what you're asking for? This is like us at Plarium. If you want to change this, you sure?
Problem solved. Mute Zero Bird.
All right, we'll go ahead. We'll turn up Mr. Zero Bird here. And you know what? I actually got you at 158 already, so we'll turn you up just a little bit and see if that helps out at all.
All right, let's see.
Rework the podcast instead of turning them up.
All right, so let's talk about the big thing this week, which was Plarium was sold to MTG, and not MTG the content creator, but MTG.
And not Gathering either.
That's true. Modern Times Group, right, has purchased Plarium for 600 million plus an extra 200 million bonuses based on obviously how much they're going to make over the next couple of years. Now, for anybody that didn't know, Plarium was owned by Aristocrat, and they originally bought Plarium Studios, which I believe at that point in time had like 10 games, for $500 million. The last year, 2023, they made $110 million just that year. Prior to that, it's usually been about 60, 70. It hasn't been anything crazy, mostly because they spent a lot of money on new player acquisition. That said, though, selling them for nearly double of what they bought, plus the revenue that they've made over the year, it tells you that they've done something right with the game. We might not think it's the best, but financially wise, they've done really good. Now, with this new owner coming in, we don't really know what we're going to be expecting. But my first question to chat and to you guys is going to be, how do you feel about the sale? Are you more optimistic about it, that we're going to get somebody to come in and actually kind of do things better for us? Or do you think we're going to have everything be the status quo? Do you think that it's Plarium itself that is putting the greed and not Aristocrat behind all the shard events and stuff? So, Ken, what do you got to say?
I mean, compared to the other gacha games, mobile game I play in, I was always saying this game is more free-to-play friendly. Obviously, there is a... Recently, my opinion has changed. Mythical Champion has changed my opinion. It's but I'm scared of Neve, owner of the Plarium, is going to be more aggressive on the, releasing the content, pay to get content. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's a gaming company now instead of the what to call it, gamble company, right? Aristocrat was the gamble. Yep. So finger crossed on that. So hopefully they are not going to screw out. Obviously we are not going to see the changes until the next year, right? The purchase is not
March
going
of
to be completed.
2023, Q3 of next year.
2025.
25, yes.
Okay.
Q4, Q1 of 2025. Sorry.
Okay, so finger crossed. Hopefully things are going to be more positive on the Plarium side, because right now I'm not happy about their recent how to say that, updates on the game. I feel like they don't play their game. They say they are testing. I don't believe that. So hopefully new owner can hire some people who play the game and they test the game.
Okay. I just want to answer a question here. We got Rip Raid saying, what's the company done with other acquisitions? So from what I've currently looked at some of these other games, the community seemed to be very happy with what's going on. And these are some of the titles that they have: Rise of Kingdom, Sunrise Village, Elvenar. They have, I believe, what was it? Kiwi has one of the more popular games, Balloon TD6. A lot of people that have played this game, or at least that I was looking in the reviews, seem to be very happy with the way that they're going.
They are not gacha game too, right?
No, they're not a gacha game. They're like a tower defense build kind of community, something like Farmville, I guess. I wanted to download it and play it. I just don't have the time. But what I do remember reading in the... and what they were talking about purchasing Plarium is that they wanted to learn more about their, particular skills, such as monetization and stuff like that, that they might be able to use and keep towards some of these other games. They wanted to talk about the live action, which is basically continuously trying to update the game and not just put something out and say, okay, here's Balloon TD6, do what you want with it now, and then a year from now we'll have Balloons TD7, right? Plarium keeps upgrading and updating the game every couple of months, giving us something new, and that's what the this company wants to do. Again, with monetization, I'm guessing in there, they're not gonna just let that go. They're not gonna spend $800 million to buy a company and not try to get the revenue. Gestal, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been kind of saying this in chat, as it actually, someone had brought it up in chat, and we thought they were joking. It was like pretty early on, and when all this was being discovered, I just happened to be streaming, so we looked around, and then Crucian had posted some in the CC chat. But to me, it's probably nothing. Like, I don't think we'll see anything change. I think Plarium's kind of been at the helm, controlling the ship with Aristocrat, and I think probably the same thing will happen with this new company. I would say it's a net positive, pretty much no matter what, because of like what's already been said. It's leaving a casino company and going to a gaming company, and I guess the hope would be. It seems like Chess seems to have some other information that they maybe are acquiring it more for to learn from them because they want
Right.
to do it in other games. So if that's the case, then who really cares? Like that's what they want. They want their skill of doing that. So it could only. I don't think that's going to make anything better. It could potentially make things worse.
Right.
Because they want to keep pushing the needle and kind of see where that fine line is, where the break point is. But as to where someone's going to spend and stop spending and leave the game. But yeah, my initial hopes was that it's a gaming company. That's a net positive because they care more about games as opposed to a casino company who doesn't. So maybe that changes my mind if that's true what these guys are saying. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be acquired to try to get that information out, right? They've stated that was going to be one of their things. They wanted to make sure that they could take as much information about Plarium and what they've done and put it into some of their other games. And they do have a pretty big portfolio. That said, I kind of agree with your sentiment of, I feel like it's a good thing for the game. It tells us that it's got some life left in it, at least another 4 or 5 years. But it does worry me a little bit about how heavy they might go towards the monetization. Will they just leave it? PJ, what about you? What are your feelings about this?
Yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy. Like you guys kind of mentioned, I think having a gacha game with like the overarching company being like a casino company that owns it is just kind of like not a good recipe for success. So I think that this now being a gacha game with like a gaming company is going to be overall better. Kind of like Gestal said. Yeah, I played Balloon Tower Defense a while ago when I was younger. Really, really enjoyed it. I haven't played it in years, but I did enjoy it, and I do like that they have a kind of a big portfolio. They also have a 40k Warhammer 40k Tactician or something like that, which I think is a really, really popular game. So yeah, I'm overall pretty excited. Hopefully maybe they'll give some like room to Plarium, some wiggle room. Maybe Aristocrat was like just squeeze them as much as they can, just money. Maybe Plarium was also like, maybe that was Plarium. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I don't think it can get much worse. Like this isn't like a challenge to them. Like, oh, PJ said it can't get worse. Like, let's try to make it worse. But I think right now, like, people aren't very happy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I hope that they're going to bring some good changes. I also saw that, well, I'm pretty sure that I saw that they said that one thing that they want to bring to Plarium is like game optimization, which I think is huge that this game needs. So I think that's, like, when I saw that, I was really, really happy. I think this is not a good optimized game, and that would help out a lot. So overall, yeah, pretty happy.
Okay. I'm going to beg to differ on the fact that it can't get worse. I think it can get much, much worse for us. It just, I mean, we'll jump into it in just a minute, but all I have to say is Hydra and Great Void. So, Dabmaster, what do you got to say about the acquisition sale?
Yeah, so a couple things, right? So just to level set from my knowledge base on all of this, right? So Plarium is the game company that was creating it, right? And Aristocrat eventually bought them and then released the game, and they've been in charge the whole time, right?
Correct.
And now just Plarium is moving from Aristocrat to this MTG, correct? Is that how it's working?
Correct.
Okay, so I guess knowing that and just making sure that I'm correct on all that, I think Gestal said it. Like, I don't think anything's gonna change at the moment. I think I will say that Aristocrat probably cranked up the spending and all the kind of crappy little things that we've seen, like was it the Freya Soul? Like that was like really, really bad. Some like really heavy money tactics, and I think they probably did that to set themselves up to sell, right? Like them putting out, like you said, 110 million, cutting down on the advertising, increasing the sales, probably got it to a point where they could get the 600, potential 800 million. You know, maybe that extra 200 million they can get out of this is based on like what they've done to us in the last year from a financial perspective. So I think, and I hope because it sounds like the games that this company does make, they create games and then they set them and forget them. Like they build up a team, put out a game, boom, move on to the next game. And so from what you're saying, it sounds like they want to learn how to keep live updating their games and monetize. So I think, yeah, they are going to learn that piece of it, potentially for their other games, and they'll probably keep everything as is what I'm imagining. But what I would be hopeful for in the future is, because they are a gaming company, I think PJ said it, optimization would be awesome. I can't stand how inconsistent they are with half of the way things work in the game. And I get it, it's kludgy between mobile and things. And we're talking like things like using the filter to find the champion you want to move to the vault, but then you can't move them to the vault until you get rid of the filter. And when you get rid of the filter, it just moves it back to the top of the list. Like silly, stupid stuff like that. So hopefully they will optimize the game from a game perspective, get that cleaned up. And then ideally, you know, maybe with a competitor like Fateless Gaming, you know, with Godforge coming into the game, you know, if they undercut their prices and put out a good quality game to compete with them, they may, from a gaming company perspective, decide they might need to back off on some of the things they've done. But yeah, I don't anticipate anything big anytime. I'm thinking the next 2 years versus what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Apparently, me and PJ are really jinxing what could possibly happen. So, guys, I'm hoping I'm wrong. But again, you know, got to look at the bigger picture. Darn, thank you very much for the sub, man. I appreciate it. All right, so I want to ask the question, and feel free to skip because if you feel like you might get yourself in trouble, and this is more towards the official creators or not, but do you guys feel like the monetization was turned up? Was that because of a Plarium greed, or do you think it came from higher up from Aristocrat? Because I guess it's going to tell us a lot when the new company MTG comes in. If it stays the same, it could insinuate that it is Plarium. If it changes, it basically means that the higher ups at MTG would be the ones that make the decision, or people at Aristocrat made the decision. Chat, what do you guys think? Would it be Plarium itself? Do they care more about the bottom line over the game, or was it Aristocrat? Gestal, let's start with you first. And again, feel free to skip if you want to. I totally understand.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything. Just speculating here. Obviously, we have no idea. I would say it's certainly. I mean, Aristocrat is certainly. They're the tops. So if they're looking to sell a portion of their company, for sure they're going to do whatever they can to get their numbers up, to get a better sale, get a number on that sale. So I could certainly see them being like, hey guys, I know you've been kind of slowly doing this. Could you ramp it up a little bit? Or this is the number we need to hit. Do whatever it takes to make it happen. I could certainly see something like that being said. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. I could see it happening in the real world, right? In any company. I could see that happening.
Okay.
Maybe they're so not like it was just. I could also just be in a total afterthought, like, oh my god, yeah, we do have this company player. Wait, you guys want to buy this? Okay, here you go, come and take it. Like, I could totally see that too. Like, I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
And you know, I get that. I do feel, at least for myself, that since they kind of released their last quarterly review, what was it, like 6 months ago, that we kind of discussed about them selling Plarium, I do feel like it was kind of brought to the decision, like, Plarium, we don't care what you guys think. We want this to happen. We want to show good numbers. We want to get our money back, and we want somebody to give us top dollar. Let's go to PJ next. What do you say?
Yeah, I would love to know, because like you mentioned that we they dropped like 6 months ago that they were open to selling. It seemed like they were like putting out the word like, hey, if anyone is interested, we're down to sell. So I would love to know when the discussions or when the like started with MTG, if it was like close to when that was, or if this deal happened quickly. But it seemed like it was from Aristocrat, the higher ups. They definitely like, and they also said I think like year of not PvP, but year of like
player retention.
Retention, yeah. So yeah, it seems like the past few months they've been kind of raising things up, kind of like we're the turkey, and they're just like stuffing us, and trying to make us look all pretty and juicy, and ripe for the picking.
Right.
So yeah, it seemed like they kind of might have raised the prices to make us seem like a little bit even better to buy.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
You asking me Aristocrat told them to screw on the Hydra and make the company player quit the game, and so we can sell the company by cheaper?
No. That's not what I said. And we're gonna jump into that later on, but no. What I'm asking is, do you think the monetization side was turned up as a result of Aristocrat saying, "Turn it up. We're looking to sell milk for everything we can," or do you think that was actually done by Plarium themselves?
I mean, I can't be know that, like it's we can't be know that, but I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
And is it matter to like?
Does it matter? Well, I feel like, so here's my thing. A lot of the things that have happened over the past couple of months with Hydra changes, with deck events and all that stuff, has left a really bad taste in our mouths. Like we are really pissed as a community with the direction that it's been going, right? It's basically they're giving us all this stuff. They ripped away from Hydra. They're being really, really like shortchanging us on points for, just trying to rip everything out of us. And the thing is like, if that's being done by Plarium themselves, then that's got me looking at a different outlook on the game itself. But if it's being done by Aristocrat,
They try to milk it before the
right. It puts really a lot more salt on a wound where, I guess, let me phrase it this way. I wouldn't be as pissed off with all of these Hydra changes, all this stuff going on, if the direct action prior to that was not give me. If it was, just like it was back in the day where the fusions were accessible to everybody, we had a 2x every, other week, a 10x every other week, but continuously just pulling shards, going after these events, going after these stake events, just pushing the monetization, having us just go through all of this stuff has kind of made me feel, and I think it's a sentiment of the community, it's like, this is why we're so pissed off over everything else, because if you hadn't invest thousands of dollars, hours in the game, I don't feel like if it was, again, back to what it was prior, you wouldn't be as upset as it is now.
Okay, first, I'm not gonna say first of all because I say lots of first of all. My chat is key for me. So first, I don't think this game changed dramatically on the last couple of years. Okay. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think game go a little bit more aggressive on the monetizing stuff, because like I can tell about my account wise, nothing changed. Like I'm still getting the same amount of the void chart without spending money, stuff like that. Only thing is changed, which is it was more than a year now, right? When they released the mythical champion, and they did a how to say that root way by the release of mythical champion. First they released the mythical, like trash mythical. I mean, like Sigfront was before the buff, guys. Right. Only best one was like our base, right? She didn't change actually. Frony got a buff, Sigfront got a buff, and we was like, all right guys, there is a mythical, but they're not overpowered, like okay, we can live with that. man, then after that they released like more mythical, stuff like that, and more power creep, more pay to get champion. And after that they buffed the existence one, the OG one, and obviously they are so OP now. So that's my only complaint on the free-to-play side. Like Deck of Fate event you just mentioned, right? Like what was the Deck of Fate event you talking? Freya?
The last one they did for Freya, yeah, where they nerfed the points on the chain
Uh-huh.
training and the
Yeah,
soul
true.
stones.
They did something dirty like that. I agree with you. But you know what they say, inflation. So like I already see that on some tournament and the event as well. Points keep going up.
Yep.
But we also talked about that before, if you remember, like if we was talking about like Curse Day, they released the Curse Day. Oh yes, we can get more free resources. And I was always saying like, all right guys, we are getting more resources, but they are gonna take them back.
Right.
And I was expecting to see that. They actually wasn't changed that. After they released the Curse Day, they wait like a couple of months, actually more than a couple of months. But now we are seeing some changes there on the point stamp. That doesn't make me happy. All right, but I still prefer that little bit increased point on the tournament stuff like that instead of the more pay to win game. Like what is more pay to win mean? Like from the other gacha game I played, guys, mobile game. Let's say they are going to release the skin, epic, legendary, mythical skin. Epic one gonna give you 10 speed, 5% crit rate. Legendary one gonna give you 15 speed, 10% crit rate, and the mythical gonna give you 20 speed, 20% crit rate. Like. And yes, you need to buy them. Otherwise, you cannot get them. There's a games like that as well. Like, so, like if the aristocrat is really want to meet them, they will go that way, before they sold to company. But
Right.
like I said, only like increasing point, I don't think it's gonna give them like huge benefit. Like, oh no, I have to spend money now. Point is increased. Like I don't think so, man.
Okay, it's an interesting outlook. Dab Master, where do you stand with this?
What was the original question again?
The original question was, do you think the monetization and greed, the monetization kick up over the last 6 months to a year was because of Aristocrat looking to sell Raid Shadow Legends or Plarium, or was that just based from
Straight.
Plarium from themselves? Yeah.
So the answer to that question is probably both. I think Aristocrat probably gave them the mandate is, look, we're looking to sell the company. We need you to make as much money on paper as humanly possible. And they probably incentivize the higher ups at Plarium. If you hit $100 million in revenue, you're going to get a bonus payout and some stuff like that. So again, this is pure speculation. I'm not in the content creators program, so I can guess all I want and not get slapped on.
That is true. You can say whatever
is
you
true.
want.
I can say whatever I want. Yeah. So if I were guessing, that's probably what happened. So it's probably like they probably had a roadmap of continuing to expand the game, and then they put this probably dollar piece on top of it, and so they have slowly, basically they're moving the needle or the bar or the line. They're moving the lines on us and seeing how much the player base will accept and take, right, while continuing to build out the game to make it incentivize for someone else to buy it, because they're still developing the game, and they're just moving on, and they're probably going to get a huge payout. They probably, believe it or not, they probably said, hey, when the buyout happens, you're going to get stock. We're going to give you stock if you hit these certain thresholds, and when the buyout happens, you're going to get, because if you're the head of Plarium, you might get a $5 million payout or several $1 million payout. I don't know, based on stocks used to incentivize, and that's no money out of Aristocrat's pocket, and then they're just going to get their investment back, and boom, the people that play them. So I would say it's probably both, and that's just like from a business perspective. That's not a gaming company perspective. I think that's usually what happens. And I worked for a smaller company that kind of did some of that, and they did get bought out by a bigger company, and the owners of that company all of a sudden they were driving McLarens and what's the motorcycle that's like the Lamborghini of motorcycles?
Ducati.
Yeah, he went and got a Ducati, and because it's meant to be street, it meant to be a racing bike, he laid it down in the first month because he was an idiot.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Yeah, and I just sat back and laughed. I was like, great, I made my penny. I didn't make anything on the sale, and y'all are paying me pennies, and you got your Ducati. He earned it. Whatever. He took all the risks. I'm very pro capitalism, but yeah.
Okay.
I've seen that and seen how that works. So I think it's probably a little bit of both.
All right. I wonder if we're going to
Can I
see
add one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Just one thing that kind of worries me is I just hope MTG doesn't see like this big revenue spike and be like, oh, like this is gonna be consistent. Like I hope they see that they kind of like not force this, but like kind of was like a pump and dump and like was almost like artificially inflating to maybe be sold. So I hope they don't be like, oh, we expect them to be at this like level of spending when it's really like probably down here. So that's
Right.
one thing that kind of scares me.
Right. No, I agree. I think that's because that would only just make them turn things up a lot higher, right?
Exactly.
I do like how you use the word pump and dump. I haven't heard that since my cryptocurrency days. That said, though, I go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's probably a super smart move with the aristocrat. Assuming Fateless keeps going what they're going and they can compete. Again, even if they took 5% of the market share, they're gonna make gangbusters. But 5% on Plarium side is pretty big. And then that's in a good scenario. What if 15, 20, 25% of the player base moves over to a newer game and it's got a cheaper monetization? Now you're forced to either lower your monies to compete, or you just say screw it and we'll go. So I'm thinking the next 2 years for Raid Shadow Legends is going to be extremely interesting.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we've had discussions before about raid killers, about all this and that. Games that are going to take over. And listen, Plarium has done a lot for this gacha game kind of genre, and they're not going to release anything out there. Like the way that they've done and have built up this game is by far, in standards wise, better than anyone else. I'm not saying that the game is the best that it can be, but the way that they have done it supersedes anyone else. No one else is doing the kind of revenue that they are at this point in time, or at least I haven't seen it. So with that said, though, I am excited that Plarium has been sold. This gives me hope that the game's still going to be around for at least 5-6 more years. Will it get worse? Will it get better? We don't know. It's a gaming company. I'm hoping for the latter, but what I will say on this subject is I remember when World of Warcraft was sold to Microsoft, and wasn't the best outcome, right? But that said, let's move on to the Hydra change that they're telling us they're going to do. Big shout out to Rosaria for again putting together this raid digest. But we've got two things here that we got to talk about. And I recently released a video on my thoughts about this, but Serpent's Will no longer be able to have on all 4 heads at the same time. Only 3 heads are going to have it. Okay. I don't understand why they feel this is going to be one of those good things for us, right? This is how, or not good things for us, but why they think that they are deserving credit for this, because this is how they told us it was supposed to work as intended, except that it hasn't. They said that it was going to be a very small chance of us having Serpent's Will out on all 4 heads. And I've had it happen multiple times. I mean, one stream I had it happen 7 times in one single run. Do you guys think this is the right fix for the Serpent's Will? Chat, that is for you guys. And Ken, what about you?
I think on the previous week, I said that Serpent Will is not the biggest issue. Biggest issue is the when we kill them, they get HP bar, and when we destroy this HP bar, which is too easy to do that, especially on the lower difficulty, they reborn with the full cooldown reset. Like, which means there's a high chance they are going to use their skill, because your skill most likely going to be on the cooldown, and you have to deal something like Poison Cloud, Provoke, Reflect damage buff, which is especially if you don't have a reviver, that can be super deadful. And like I said, Serpent Wheel for me is not a big problem, but like also you mentioned, this is how Serpent Wheel supposed to be work. On the video, this is what they said. So they basically keeping their word now. So they are changing nothing. They just try to make the Hydra like they said on their video, right? The one thing they didn't mention on the video is the ele attack part. And there is no news about that. They just said, hey guys, don't worry, we are working. Oh wait, we are testing more ink, they said. I mean, we are testing. Wow guys, they are testing. I have zero belief you are testing anything, Plarium. I have a zero, like literally zero. Nobody playing this game on your company and testing this game. I definitely have a zero belief right now on the state of the game. Like recently announcement you are making makes zero senses, and the announcement you are making make also zero sense. And I'm sorry, but I don't believe you guys play or the test this game. And maybe you guys like hit the full auto, come back in 5 minutes. Oh, it's working. That's not test. All right. I'm sorry, but you should be fix ele attack first. Then you need to remove this. You know, when you kill the head, they should be stay dead. You know, until their turn is back. And delete this randa. Thank you. Or make or delete her A2 skill. There we go. Delete her A2 skill. Make her A3. Attack all enemy twice. Ignore stone skin. There we go. Everybody happy.
The one thing that did really get me here was, while we don't have a specific date yet, this change should be coming in the next big patch. Like, what
exactly.
the fuck?
Why? Like, you just need to reduce the number from 4 to 3, man. How hard it can be.
I know. It's
and they also didn't say
astonishing.
anything about the upcoming. They are testing the stuff. You know, like we don't even know they are released it yet. Like they didn't say like, hey guys, in next month, you know. April 2025, you know, nope, nothing. God no.
Yeah.
Maybe we are gonna wait 2 years for that.
It's definitely very frustrating at this point in time with what they're currently doing. Even to the point where, you know, I got this screenshot sent to me, and we were talking about Trunda, 16 billion. So she's still, you know, better than anyone else. I think the highest key I've seen for a non-Trunda comp is about 1.5 billion on Nightmare. And
they are testing the game, by the way, guys.
Yes.
You tell.
PJ, what about you? What do you think?
Thank you for the sub. Someone subbed.
Oh. Thank you for the sub, Timberwolf.
Yeah, it's like you kind of mentioned. This is what their intention was in the beginning. It's kind of annoying that they're gonna wait till next big update. I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. It's gonna help. It's better than what it was, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to really see like a big impact. If they did only two sprints will, I think then we might be talking. But then you get into like Trunda's gonna get even better then. So it all again goes around Trunda being kind of an issue. But overall, it's good that they're doing it. I'm not happy that they're waiting till the next big update, but I still think Hydra still needs more tweaking, more things to be done with it. Yeah, it's still not really in an ideal spot in my mind.
Okay, and I do want to be a little fair that, you know, we are almost at the end of the year. We are supposed to be getting the Great Void, so it could mean that the next update comes within the next, you know, 3-6 months. Yet, the bottom line still falls on why are we waiting so long?
I guess
right?
I have
You're
another
talking
thing
about
too.
You're talking about New Columbus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tranda gonna one shot, guys. Watch.
It's like, excuse me. Yeah. So like people before were saying that like they were like nerfing or hurting Hydra to like maybe like they're gonna bring the new Void Great Boss in or like the Great Void, and I was like, I don't think so. And then they actually like released the video, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, did they? But like that just makes no sense to me. Like, why would you kill like one of your content just to boost something up? But again, it's Plarium, and like a lot of things they do don't make sense to me. But before I was like, definitely I don't think so. But after the video, I was like, maybe. So I don't know. That was kind of interesting to me as well.
Yeah, it definitely feels that they've done this. I mean, and I said it in content creator chat. I was like, you know what, you screwed up everything with Hydra just to release the Great Void. But even at that, I still have my skepticism about it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Gestal, what do you think? Is this, the 3 buffs to Serpent Will buff? Is that going to be good enough?
It's definitely better than the way it is. I was hoping for, like, it would always go on then off, like swapping as the heads came back. To give you kind of 2 to hit in case it's like an off affinity, or you could get a decent AOE. But it's better than what it was, I guess. I don't feel like it's where it should be.
And I agree. I think I've been saying it for at least a couple of weeks now that I feel like it should be on a rotating. Like if the Decay head comes back with Serpent's Will this one, next time it spawns out, it should not have it. I think that would be a much better way. Still gives us an RNG element, but then we're not going to have it every single time. All right, Dabmaster.
Yeah, so couple things. One, going back to the first part of this conversation, I hope that the gaming company brings better testing to this company, right? Maybe they have a full-fledged QA team that can be taught how Plarium works, and they can be better playtesters, so that definitely needs to happen. And then something I think you said is how hard can it be to fix this? I'd imagine it's more than just that. I think I said last week or the week before, like the fix needs to be if there are, because I think the way they coded it was when they respawn, if all of them have it, the last one won't get it. But the problem is they weren't accounting for them spawning at separate times, and then all 4 would get it. And so I said, hey, you need to look to see if there are 3 already out there, and when that every single time a head spawn, if 3 are out there, don't put it on this last one. I think is the way they probably coded it. And then I think they probably have to test all the AI, right? Because you're going to need all the AI to target the one that doesn't have Serpent's Will, which I know they kind of monkeyed with that before, so I'm sure they have to test all of that. And honestly, so that's my answer towards that. At least they're giving us, we can at least do something to one head, so that's better than nothing. I think even the Serpent's Will, it even really wasn't really the issue. I think it's the new HP bar on the dead heads, and I get it. They did it to limit the damage, but they aren't limiting the damage on Trunda as much as everything else. And so now all the diversity of teams can't compete. I think I saw some other videos. I don't know who I watched. It might have been Nubs or someone like that, but they said maybe Serpent's Will goes from 100 to 90% instead of from that perspective, and or maybe a bigger life bar on the dead head so that you can actually get some of the bonus damage out. The problem is there's not much there, and you hit them once or twice with a hard hitting ninja or whatever, and the head respawns. Game over. Now you're back to square one. So I think there's a lot more tweaking that needs to come. And then Great Void, I think this is probably on the roadmap, right?
We'll touch that. We'll touch on that in just a minute. That's totally separate. Don't be jumping ahead.
Well, I heard someone else mention blame PJ. He brought it up. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, I feel like the HP bar, again, because we had enemy max HP hitters that weren't really being utilized, I think that was a good move to make them sort of relevant, right? I just feel like the problem is Serpent Swell, and there's different ways that they could do it. They could do it just like as you were just saying a minute ago. You know, the first head that pops out has 100%, second head has 90 or 75, third head has 50, fourth head has 25. I feel that way at least we're still getting some damage out. Or they just put it on a rotating one. I think Serpent Swell is the bigger problem. I feel it's not as bad with the HP pool. Now, it does screw us over a little bit with the way that they coded the ally attacks. I don't like that part where it just stops. But that still needs to be addressed. As for the next part here, where they say the additional Hydra changes, we're also looking to make additional Hydra changes to some mechanics here while reducing tedious parts of the battle. However, we are still testing them and cannot provide. I do love how Azoria has like highlighted, cannot provide any more information until we are sure that it will be positive impact on the players and their performances. I don't buy this. Come on.
Copium.
If you did this with the current changes that are in game, you would realize very fast that we are not happy. So I don't feel like, you know, as for Ken, who's earlier stated, I don't think they play their own game. I will say, I know certain community managers that I'm friends on Discord with that will once in a while pop up with the name and then say playing Raid Shadow Legends. And I've DM'd them and saying, what you guys actually play? And they have confirmed that they play it. As for the, you know, people that are doing this, that are coding the game, that are, you know, supposed to be playing it, that how extensive do they do anything? I don't know. But do you guys, are you hopeful that extra mechanics coming in, changes will make Hydra better for us? And if you had to give a timeline on when you think this might come, what would you guys say? Chat, I'm interested to see where you guys stand with this. And then Zero, I'm going to start off with you.
Yeah, so I think they'll get the 3-head thing in with the next patch, right? Whether that's the next fusion or the stuff that might be coming in December timeframe. But I think they still need to look at it. They made a lot of big changes, and I think, yeah, those coders, just go back to what you were saying. I think they just go in, and because they have built this game in modules, like all the different modes all kind of do something different, that the coding changes aren't really good when they do them. And then what was the last part of your question?
You know, how long do you think it'll take before they actually do something?
Yeah, so what I'm fearful of is they're going to put this fix in. It's still not going to make the community happy, and then they're just going to go full-fledged into the new content, Great Void, whatever it is, and push into that super hard in December. And then if they do that, they're going to put Hydra on the back burner, and they're going to try to fix all the bugs that they're going to introduce with the new stuff. I am hopeful though, because I want to go back and say the Odin dungeon thing that they put in. I don't know. What do y'all think? Was that pretty flawless? I don't know if how many changes they had to make to that.
So they did have to make a couple of changes to it.
But they were quick, right?
Yeah, because it affected their underlying price, right? You know, if it was a problem that affected how much money they can make, they're going to get on that right away. So if people can't farm it with a specific champion, or are farming too much of it because a particular champion is broken in that content, or not working as intended, as they say, they're going to fix that very quick. Example was Nagdar.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, they'll fix that. So I'll just say this to summarize everything. I think I'm fearful that they're gonna patch Hydra this third or fourth time, and then they're gonna release the new stuff, and then they're gonna let the press from the new stuff bring up the gaming community and sentiment for new content and all that, and they're just gonna put Hydra on the back burner. And if they do that, we may be having the same conversation in 6 months, like, God, Hydra's still jacked up. When are they ever gonna, make it better? And I think they're potentially hoping to distract us and get us to move on from Hydra, and I hope that's not the case. I hope they keep dedicated teams working on both.
All right. I'm not as hopeful about the new game mode because of Hydra. I feel like there's going to be a lot more problems with that. And honestly, if it's another thing like Hydra, as if it's a weekly thing, it's not going to be better. At least I don't think so, because we're still going to have to spend time in Hydra and we're still going to get aggravated as fuck with it. PJ.
Yeah, very interested on what they're like. When we read that first part, it says we're working on some additional changes to make some of the mechanics more effective against Hydra while reducing tedious parts of the battle. Like, I'm very interested, like what do they think are the tedious parts? I think the tedious parts is just like the whole battle, like just like running the whole battle manually. If you're gonna do that, like what are they? I wonder what they're reducing. Any thoughts?
That's an interesting question. Maybe the amount of time you're spending. I guess maybe they'll bring it down to 500 turns instead, which, God, I hope not. I hope not.
Well, that doesn't seem like... But that seems like an easy fix. They seem like this is additional changes to make mechanics more... I don't know, just like... I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. One thing they could do, here's a thought, that you could extend Provoke. That'd be nice.
Okay.
But yeah, I am kind of worried that they're gonna leave this content after the new Great Void comes out, and they're gonna just kind of worry about that and have this like leave in the dust, like Zero said. Yeah, hopefully these changes will be sooner than later. I mean, hopefully before the end of the year, which is actually going to be here before we know it.
Right.
But it's... Yeah, again, anything with Plarium doing complex testing and like additional changes and mechanics to stuff that they maybe don't really like need. Like, no one's really asking for changes. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, we'll see how they view this and how they change the Hydra. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what they are thinking for that.
Okay. Gestal, what about you?
So the question is, when the time, like, how long is it going to take to do this?
So how long do you think they're going to take to do it, and what do you think about their testing? Like, you know, are they really actually testing something, or is this just something they're telling us to kind of calm us down a little bit?
I think they'll test like the obvious stuff of it. Like, okay, is this working as intended? Will we only ever have 3 up there? They'll probably run a bunch, some testing on that, I'd imagine. I don't think they're going to test it with like multiple different comps and you know, whatever that might be. So yeah, I think there'll be some limited testing.
Okay.
How long? I think they said maybe the next big patch. What is that going to be? A couple weeks? So I guess a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks, maybe a year. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. Wishful thinking.
Well, I don't think these things. Well, again, to PJ's point, which is a great point. What do they mean by the tedious stuff? Yeah, I find Hydra very tedious, the whole thing. So if you have to manual it, if I can auto it, then great. What is the Yeah, it's a very interesting point. I don't know what they're saying there.
Right.
So. And that could be one thing, that could be 100 things, and that could obviously prolong how long it would take. But it sounded to me like they're like, it could be very soon, so let's hope, I guess.
Okay. Ken, what about you?
I don't think they understand the problem. So the way they are heading to fix the problem is not going to be fix the problem, because like I said, we will be... I mean, that's my opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me. But Serpent will buff, like if you reduce that like 90%, 75% like the previous one, guys, 75% damage reduction. Only Tranda can one-shot them. 75% damage reduction, what kind of damage you expect there? This already like going to limit you a lot. It's like you are trying to kill somebody under elite protection and strength buff, you know? We are going to deal like very low damage there. Because the announcement they make, they only mention the Serpent will buff, right? Then they also said like we are looking something. give us some idea what you work in, so we can be. All right, guys. There is still hope. Look, Plarium is analyzed the correct problem, and that they are heading the correct way. So we can have a hope. But all of they said on the recent Raid Digest is copium. No time on the release. No detail about what they are working. I won't be surprised if the Tranda get another buff after they are changes, upcoming changes. And I'm thinking we are not going to see any news about the Hydra till next year summer.
Next year summer,
like
wow.
June, July, something like that. August.
Okay.
Because
wow.
I mean they are going to be busy as well because of the company is selling, like so. And they are releasing new Columbus, so they are going to be busy with them. So Hydra probably they are not high priority at the moment. And of course they need to release more 15x. It's.
Just broke my heart, Ken.
Wow. Ken being brutally honest with here, but hey, maybe he does have some sort of secret insight. Chat has been theorizing that you are either a Plarium employee or a family member is working for Plarium, so I don't know.
Yeah, Zilla is really thinking like they literally change everything about the Hydra because of me.
Well,
bro, like I'm not even tier 3 CC. What do you think they are watching me?
Well, they're watching you, but will they listen to you?
True. Actually, I got a warning.
Yes, you've been a very bad boy, and they are watching you.
Naughty.
You are in their time zone.
But I feel like the Serpent's Well buff is the problem. They definitely need to fix it. Don't wait 2, 3, 4 months to get this done with the next big patch. I really am frustrated and aggravated with Hydra right now, to the point where I just kind of I don't even care anymore. It's I haven't even ran my Hydra keys this week, and I think I might just do. I don't even care about getting the 1.2 billion points, right? It's our tank week this week, so I might just do a 1 key and get the hell out because I just don't care. But that said, it's sad that the one game mode that we had that we enjoyed and we loved has now just been destroyed. All right, so let's talk about the.
I do have an announcement.
Oh, what's your announcement?
I'm running Brutal now, so I'll give an update later. But why would I be running Brutal now? Why?
Advanced quest.
Yes, I'm about to be Marius for this champ chase.
Okay,
Nice.
congratulations.
Yeah, I'm on the last stage, so I just need to do
Nice.
30 million, which I'm at 159, so we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
I thought you were Advanced Quest, which, by the way, I'm just going to touch on this one thing real quick. This Advanced Quest for Live Arena, I've fucking gotten this quest every single day on my main account. Every day.
Normal.
That's normal?
Yeah, they replaced the existence one if you are level above 50 or 60 with this one. So old one, by the way, win tag team arena against the higher team power or stuff like that, or the single affinity stuff like that, single faction, which is in my opinion they was more annoying, man. Especially when you set up your defense on TTA, everybody have a full team. How we are gonna try to win against them, with the condition.
I just find this annoying because I work and 3 out of the 4 times that they can run Live Arena, I work or I'm sleeping, and then the 4th one, I have kids, I know for Ken it doesn't really matter because, we're still kids, but...
Hey! By the way, isn't they extend the time for the live arena? Isn't that help you? Yeah.
A little bit, but again, if I'm working 2 out of those and then sleeping on the 3rd one, their last one happens at reset. Reset for me is 8 o'clock. That's usually when my kids need to go to bed. And that, by the time I get that done, get settled out, get ready for tomorrow's day, because I get up at 5 in the morning to go to work. It is, you get on, you're like, oh shit, maybe I have 20 minutes to do it.
They should be rotate this thing, by the way. Arena reset, this thing. It should be rotatable. You
need to
flat
plan your
reset.
poo break at work and go do it on the turlet.
Yeah, you forget I work for UPS. They literally know what I'm doing, when I'm doing, how I'm doing, how many times I turn my truck on and off, how many times I open my door, how many times I put my e-brake on, how many times I put my car in reverse drive. And they are, yeah, you want to talk about Plarium being the masters of monetization. Analytics is UPS's number one thing. They have a list and are tracking every single thing I do. That said, we're not going to talk about my employer because I could be here for hours. But let's talk. Let's talk about this Great Void, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have watched the video already. But they came out and they told us that we're getting the Great Void finally. Now, when I saw this, I was just kind of like, you know, it wasn't like Hydra where I was excited and saying, "Oh yeah, let's go, I'm ready." I was kind of like, whatever. I'm not too thrilled about it. Ken, what did you think about when they first said the announcement?
The video, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there is no detail at all, you know, like, it looks like a tower, but probably not. I think it's part of the boss, yeah. The thing we are seeing right now. I am just not excited about the reward. I think they are going to give us another set. 2-piece bonus speed. My bad. One piece bonus speed, 2-piece bonus accuracy. 3-piece bonus more speed. 4-piece make you immunity, block debuff, okay. 5-piece more speed. 6-piece it's give you pinpoint. What was that buff name? Intercept buff. 7-piece more accuracy. 8-piece more speed, and the 9-piece is give you at the same time stone skin. That's what I thinking about the new gear. And they probably going to give us one time only champion, probably going to be mythical, like we got from the cursed. So finger crossed, hopefully it's going to be good. About the boss, not gonna be that easy, I believe, especially when the first time we are gonna see. But hopefully most of us can handle him, and especially early game player can get some chance, you know, can get some reward.
Okay. So it seems like you thought about this gear set quite a lot. Did you put in that idea so when it comes out we know who to blame?
I mean, like, you don't need to be very smart to guess that, you know. Like, look, the last 2 set they released it, like they released them like 1 month difference, you know. Yeah, we got like Feral set from the Siege, then 1 month later we got a Pinpoint set. Like literally 1 month, both of them the same almost. Actually, one higher version, which is so stupid.
Chad has just confirmed that you are a Plarium employee. That said, though, so were you excited to hear about the Great Void coming out?
Yeah, I like the more content. I wish they are reworking the existing content instead of releasing the new one, but I'm okay with both of them, to be honest.
Okay. Gestal, what about you? Were you excited to hear about the release of the Great Void?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited they confirmed it. I think there's been pretty good speculation that this would be the big reveal in December. So I'm glad it's more of a confirmation, I guess. Definitely excited for new content. I was thinking maybe they give out primals here, more like the Demon Lord. Then that would kind of take the strain off of how difficult it will be for free to play to get mythical champs. So that's my hopes. Ken's set sounds hilarious, and someone said in chat, Mr. Bossman said, "If you're right, I'm unfollowing." If you are right, that'd be crazy. So,
although it's possible, we don't know. It could be. I do feel like the gear set is definitely going to be part of it. And I feel like, honestly, shard-wise, it has to be primals. That said, PJ, were you excited to see the announcement for this?
Yeah, pretty excited. It's kind of like a classic Plarium video where it's like shows something but doesn't really show us anything. Like it kind of reminds me of like Amius a little bit with like the red and like the vines kind of. I would have liked them to push this back a little bit and them to, like Ken said, like rework some stuff that's already existing, Hydra some more, some other stuff in the game. But new content, I think, is usually always pretty good. People usually get excited for it. I wish they would have shown us a little bit more. Like, I don't really know what we're looking at, but overall pretty excited.
Okay. Imagine
Ken?
Chundo. Okay. All right. Dad Master, what about yourself?
Yes, sir. So yeah, my kid just brought in her Lego. She's already finished it, so that didn't take long. So I liked a lot of the things as y'all said. I think primals would be really, really good. I was thinking that yes, they are going to introduce a new champion. Probably is going to be another mythical champion, because I haven't min-maxed mine, and I pulled my Carnage Friday night, and I'm about to pull my Marius today. So I just got both of them, and again, I haven't min-maxed. I've just kind of been playing it consistently. So I would imagine, you know, earlier game accounts are still, they have that in the roadmap to get people that's been kind of middle ground, not min-maxing, or kind of where I'm at, and then of course the people that got it early on already got it. So I think, I think they did say something like player retention was when they did what's his name, who's the lizard that does the lockout passives, Ramantu.
Mm-hmm.
I think they said they saw a lot of metrics around the Ramantu and like that being a very extended long quest to get done, and then clearly they did that with Carnage and now Marius as well. So I'd imagine they're going to implement some sort of something like that with this boss. And, you know, and of course Hydra had Mithrala too, right? So I'd imagine that's definitely going to happen. What I would love to see, and again, I think I heard someone else say this in some of the content I watched this week, but I would love to see not necessarily like 3 separate fights with 3 different teams so that we can have more diversity of champions to kind of combat the problem. I would love to see like a potentially one fight that's dynamic, and you do like the 3 waves with 3 different teams or something like that. And depending on what you do in each wave, the final boss battle is, you know, it adds, you know, levels of complexity or whatever, whether that's like a big shield you have to bust through, or it has the ability to unlock extra damage or something like that. I would love to see a really cool dynamic fight from that perspective, and you got to use different, you know, at least 15 champions to go at it versus, you know, like clan boss right now. I built my original team and I was gonna build another one, but I was like, you know what, I can one key, why do this? I'll just keep these crappy champs for that. And like, you know, when I say crappy champs, I mean like Frozen Banshee, because she's, you know, speed tuned or whatever.
Okay. So now that he's muted, we can move on to the next subject, which is actually what you guys think for rewards are going to happen with this. Sorry, brother, you just kept going on and on and on. I'm like, all right. But what do we think the rewards are going to be? I mean, I know they did tell us that a new champion that we're going to get in for another mythical. So I'm hoping that that's part of it. I'm hoping fragments for, not fragments, but actual primal shards are going to be in there, not fragments, right? I'm hoping that we get some sort of way to get mythical skill tomes. But Ken, where do you see the rewards coming out of this, other than the gear set that you suggested?
I forget one thing about the gear set. This is going to be another Clamus, right? Probably going to be difficulty. Let's say there is going to be ultra nightmare difficulty, guys, and we are going to get a 5-star rare gear. I'm super excited for that. And like you guys mentioned, Primal Sharp would be amazing because it's the current end game stuff, right? Nobody care about the Secret Void or I actually care about Void, but Engine Shard. Like, there is no excited champion from there for me, for my account wise. Even I am not spending money, but my account still very old, right? Almost 5 years. So mythical book actually, like, because right now the current state of the game, there is no way we can get mythical book. Yes, theoretically it's possible to get mythical book from the Hydra Clash chest. Man, I probably got like maybe only 2 times. mythical book from the Hydra Clash, which is that one, number one. Yeah,
Yep.
this one. And we maybe won like 70% of the time, let's say. Okay, so far they released the Clash. They either need to increase this percent there. I don't know what is the percent of to get that, but it's so hard, and I cannot max every single tournament or the event they put the mythical book there. So for me, for free-to-play perspective, it's super hard to do it. And I hope this new Columbus can give us mythical book. I will be actually more happy than the primal shard. Yes, I know I don't have a mythical champion to book, but eventually I will be a mythical champion. It's only gonna take 2 years, so I need some book.
Okay. Gestal, what do you think some of the rewards that we're going to get out of this is going to be?
Yeah, disclaimer. I think as someone said that my ideas were a little far-fetched, but our high expectations. This is what my ideas are. Basically, what I would do if I ran Plarium. If I were running Plarium, I would give up Mythic Shards because it's ridiculous, man. Like, Kenpachi's never going to have a mythical champion. It's going to take him forever to get one. It's ridiculous. It should be the same way as it is to, like, with the Demon Lord. Like, you should have... You should be able to get them. And they shouldn't have the stupid fragments, man. If you're going to give out a Primal, just give out a Primal Shard. Why are you giving out the fragments? It's so ridiculous.
Like a man.
I agree with you. But they did kind of semi-address that in the Raid Digest, where they said, listen, guys, as for, 10x for specific or 15x for targeted mythicals, or doing, just events for mythical souls in the shop and whatnot, we don't have enough. So I feel like as time goes on and they add some, they will become a little more accessible. And again, if you guys remember back in the day, the champion pool was so limited where we never really got like 2x's and 10x's like we do now, right? It's like every day now we have a 10x, a 15x, a 25x, and like every other week we have a 2x. So I feel like as time goes on and they bring out more, we'll get more, and they'll be a little more accessible. But well, we could have a conversation about this on another day, but I feel like if they just gave it out too much and everybody got it, I would say, remember what happened when Death Knight and Sun Wukong came out when everybody got him and Armands? Imagine that now with a Commodus, right?
But I think like the Void Lego structure is good. It's basically one a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Mythical should be on par with that. Not one every 2.5 years.
I agree.
One a year gives them plenty. They're doing at some point they were doing 2 a month. Now they've kind of fallen off of that, but like we've got a third one now in the
Sylvan Watchers.
Yeah,
and the Sylvan Watchers, the Black Teeth. She's actually got white teeth, so I don't know how she got that name, but so like they're growing. But I think the one a year is not a bad strat. I think it should be on par with Voice. I don't think that's killing the game.
right.
And honestly, I've been playing some free to play live arena, and everybody's got a mythical, man. It seems like everyone's got a mythical.
Bro, it's cheaper
Even
than
the
Secret
silver
Shard.
one, bro. Yeah, well, like I if you were a new player to the game now, why would you buy anything other than? And you were going to spend money. Why would you buy anything other than primals? Get a shot at get one of those red guys. So I mean, every account seems to have one now if they're spending money.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
just to tie in and go back to like them being bought out, I'm curious how much of that increased revenue for the last 12 months came from them implementing mythicals, because if they're again metrics based companies, so if they saw, because like you said, everybody's got mythicals, and that's honestly something I didn't well out on, so I've only got the one that my Mercy gave me, and plus the 2 free ones now. But yeah, I'm curious how much of that, because if they saw, boom, we made an extra $40 million because we introduced this new mechanic to the game and everybody bought a bunch of primals to do it, then I don't know.
Yeah. No. Again, I have a different perspective on this. Might not be the one that everybody wants to hear, but
Can
PJ,
I say something quickly? I'm so sorry.
go ahead.
We talking about mythical champion. We know they are also going to release Void mythical, so we need to play the game for a year to get them, I guess.
Oh,
Fair point. PJ, what do you think some of the rewards that are going to be in the Great Void are? Or what would you like to see?
Yeah, I would like
wait,
to.
you didn't finish your thought. Sorry, BLAZIN. What were your thought on primals?
Oh, we don't want to get into that right now. We will have
Change your mind?
we will have a discussion about it, but right now that would be such a heated conversation that everybody would be like, nope, I don't agree with you. So we'll leave that for not next week, but the week after. PJ, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to see. I think more clan gold would be good, especially with them adding extra tiers in the clan shop.
Clan gold?
Yeah.
How much clan gold are you sitting on right now?
Like a decent amount, but they're adding more stuff that you're gonna be wanting to buy.
Yeah.
They should be at them on
20,000?
takdim not here.
20,000.
20,000? Chat, how much clan gold are you guys sitting on right now? Because I never seem to have an issue buying out anything I need.
Wait, I mean, yeah, but they just added more stuff to start buying.
I spend as much as I can, and I'm sitting on about 20.
Yeah, see?
I at least buy the energy, the silver, and like if there's a shard or something like that in there, I'll grab it. But if the 5 Lego ores, that's the best.
Yeah, and that comes
those.
that comes very rarely, at least that I
Yeah,
see.
like once a month.
Yeah.
Well, they got the dust now. They got the hour boost, which might be.
Yeah, the new stuff's pretty good. But it's gonna take a while to get to clan up to that, isn't it?
Yeah.
25.
Exactly.
But okay, all right.
True. But the biggest thing I think would be like higher soul stones, mediums, and even big ones.
Soul stones.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, I think soul stones is a great thing for it. Dab Master, what about yourself?
I think soul stones would be awesome because they've done a good job adding the 5-star, chances 3, 4, 5 stars to get them, but they're so expensive. Like the way they built their, what do you get, like 10 or 15% off of, like if you go and sell one that you don't need or whatever, you get a little bit in return back. And so I think Souls have been in the game for almost 2 years now. So long story short, yes, Souls are so important now in the game to remain competitive, and they need higher tier ones to be able to get the higher ones. Personally, I think that'd be great. I already said shards for a new champion, and that should take at least 6 months, potentially 6 months to 12 months, right? And I think primal shards would be a really good thing. Maybe it's super rare that you get them, but they got to increase that in the game. I think all of that, and you know what? Maybe mythical tomes. And even if they didn't give us whole mythical tomes, I think we talked about doing pages before, like if they can bust up a primal shard into chunks, like give us pages towards a mythical book, right? Maybe you need 2 or 3 weeks worth of winning to get a mythical book.
Whoa. You want us 2 or 3 winnings of winning the clan boss to get a mythical book? Jeez.
I'm just saying, if they're listening. By the way, I'm sitting on 31 mythical books because I haven't pulled any champs, right? So I've got plenty, but I'm just saying, if they don't want to give us a whole mythical book, potentially pages would be, I'd rather that than nothing. You know what I mean? Like they keep that completely off the table.
Okay.
All right. They want me muted, so I'll shut up.
I swear I'm gonna get a stream deck, and that'll be one of the commands on there is just mute you.
To be fair, because I did not say anything about the primal. That was them saying that. I'm just saying they already have that in the game. They proved they can do it. If they gave us the option of, and now we'll throw this out in chat, if they gave the option of 0 mythical books or the chance to earn one over a month, would you take that or nothing at all?
I mean, taking pages of mythical books to get one a month. I think that's no. I wouldn't. I would honestly not take that over something else that could be a little more beneficial to my account. Again, that's just me. I feel like that would be a horrible idea. That said, though, where do you guys stand on how often this should be done? So we have Hydra that's done once a week. We get 3 keys. You get Clan Boss that's 4 keys, once a day per or whatever. It resets daily. How often do you think this new boss is going to reset? Do you think daily, weekly, monthly? Where do we stand with that? Ken?
Depends on the difficulty, you know, like if we can like auto like a Columbus, I don't mind the daily, you know. But if it is a little bit more tough like the Hydra, we need to deal with maybe manual. Weekly, maybe every 2 week would be nice. Man, there is lots of things to do it on the game now, like Siege, Clan versus Clan, this thing, Hydra.
Is there though? Because I mean, they just really killed Hydra. So how much time do you spend doing it?
We are tanking actually since the day of it's a recent change, so I'm like fully auto in right now. But I don't know, man. Like last time I did a manual Hydra, which is the after they rebalance it still took me like 1 hour, and I don't like that. So
okay,
yeah.
So you say either weekly or bi-weekly?
Siege, Cursity, yes, Siege and Cursity as well. There is a loss of content when it manual them, you know, like so. I hope it's going to be easy like the Columbus, you know. Maybe when they first time release it, it's going to be a little bit tough. But end of the day, I hope it's going to be auto friendly. But I believe, like, I'm looking the Plarium experience, you know, like when they release a new boss, new content, new dungeon, they always look in the what was the best themes for the previous content, like Columbus, for example, right? And they are making sure the previous comp is not going to work on the new content. Like if you look at the bosses, right, you know, like Iron Tiffin, for example, wasn't ignore any unkillable, right? Or the block damage. He still doesn't ignore block damage. They just nerfed the unkillable. I don't know why. But after that, they released the Phantom Shogun. My bad. Sun Devil. Boom. Sun Devil already ignored the block damage or the unkillable, right? So you need to be a little bit careful on the speed tuning or just use the double G nut.
So explain the cadaver with Clan Boss and Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but Centranos is full auto and done. Not sure. Not sure.
Bro, not you sure. Are not waiting for the gear swap day? Oh my god, bail, guys.
Bro, I don't need to because I have champions geared for it. I don't re-gear everybody. That's a Gestal. How often do you feel like this should be resetting?
Yeah, I think Kenpachi's right. It all depends on kind of the difficulty and how much time it'll take. I think the swapping over from like the super auto runs on Demon Lord could lead me to believe that maybe it would be a daily one. But yeah, I think it'll come down to just like how much time it takes, how hard it is, and you know, they've been saying they're trying to cut down on the time, right? So they're gonna add something that's gonna take another hour. I can't see that. So maybe something. I would say daily. I'm just gonna guess and say daily.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. My daughter's signed into my iTunes account and her friend was just FaceTiming her, so they were trying to talk. That's why my camera went off. PJ, what about you? How long do you think it should reset? Every how often?
Like they said, it kind of really depends on how difficult it is and what they expect us to do. I do agree with Ken that they try to, at least when they drop new content, to have previous teams like these teams not really work. Granted, are they always successful? No, but I do think that it is like in their mind to try to make it so like we aren't able to use old cheese stuff for like new content. If it's auto friendly, then I think if it's auto friendly and a reasonable time, I don't know what is a reasonable time. Daily's okay. I think up to 2 weeks it could be the thing. I think daily to maybe every 2 weeks. is like the time slot we'll be looking at. Yeah, it just really depends on what they want us to do. Like, if this is going to be another hour plus thing and we have like multiple keys, then we need more time. If it's going to be a shorter run and we can bang it out in 10 minutes or something like that, 15 minutes, then maybe daily isn't going to be that bad.
Okay. I do want to say though, if we're talking daily, imagine what it was like when Clan Boss, prior to having that one key auto unlock feature. That could be very time consuming. Even though it's resetting daily, even though we may be able to make a team, that's still going to be time that you have to dedicate to that, unless they come off of it right off the rip, which I don't think they're going to do. Just because they're going to want us to always keep improving our team. So, Zero,
I guess the other thing is, like, how many keys are we going to get? Like, is it going to be like a one key, or is it going to be multiple? So I guess that's also a big impact.
True. Zero, community wants you to speak now, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. How often for this? I just think, it goes back to what I've always said, right? They need to be respectful of our total time in the game. And I want to give them kudos because I feel like Sin City and Doom Tower, they did a good job of, once you complete all of Doom Tower, you don't have to run your gold keys anymore. That's when they're resetting Sin City. And then when you kind of run through all your keys, or you're in normal mode, you've run through all your hard and you're kind of in normal mode, and or you've completed all you can complete. That's when Doom Tower is getting ready to reset. So I think they did a really good, timing wise. And then of course, you've got Siege and CVC are on alternating weeks, right? So I'm okay with it. Just be respectful over time. I would still love for them to make Iron Twins a one key run and just give us 6 times the reward and buy back 20 or 30 minutes of our time, or how long it takes, 15, 20 minutes of our time. And then if they did that, then they could give this to us as a daily thing. I think that'd be a great idea.
Okay.
Can I readjust my opinion actually?
He's like, wait,
now that
what?
I'm thinking about it, well, if it's gonna be more gear, if we're getting daily more gear, like, that's gonna not be ideal.
Well, I mean, if it's the gear set that
slots.
Ken just talked about, I mean, that seems like a super crazy
true,
OP set that we'd want to get that as much as possible.
Yeah, but it also probably gonna be like a 9P, so that's more accessories. I'd rather them do, I feel like, better rewards and make it like 1 or 2 weeks versus maybe shitty rewards and make it daily. I don't know. That's just the one thing that popped in my head, is just gear is an issue and accessory space. So if we're getting daily more gear and accessories, that's going to be kind of annoying. But if it's really good, then I guess we'll make do with it, do what we have to do.
Okay. Zero, we'll let you finish your thought.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, that was basically all I thought of. But I do think gear is also another issue. So if there is a new gear set coming with this, I think they have made it, and I know they've already increased it once, but they've made it where you have, especially with the accessories and the way they go by faction, you have to hold on to all these extra stuff, because it's like, oh, I need to build this combo and I need to build this. In fact, this week I just rebuilt my Marishka and Queen, and I put them in Relentless and Stone Skin both. And just to be able to pull that off is really, really hard. And I'm literally sitting on 300 accessories in my inbox right now that I just need to go through and sell. And it's like, it's so tough. So we need more slots. So
We
be
need
respectful
more-
over time. And if it is gear, give us more gear slots.
Okay. One thing I will just tell you is just start being more brutal with pieces of gear that you actually get multiple pieces of, right? So that said, though, I feel like a good healthy balance would be weekly, just because, again, I don't anticipate that the difficulty for this is going to be easier than Hydra. If I was guessing, you guys remember how difficult Hydra was at the start. I feel like it's going to be that bad. And then they're going to try and I'm not going to say adjust, but they're going to try to rework things down the line. So I feel like weekly is going to be a pretty good stage. I think difficulty wise, they're probably going to do as they have in the past, where nightmare, hard, brutal, easy. So I think that's probably the way they're going to go. it's let me ask you, difficulty wise, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being easy, 10 being really hard, where do you stand on how difficult it should be, and where would you want it to be the, you know, the happy medium? Ken?
7.
7. Okay. Gestal?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be harder than Hydra. It just makes sense, right? Progression wise. I'm gonna go 8.
8. Okay. PJ?
Interesting question. So I feel like I want the higher difficulties like Nightmare, Brutal to be tough, but I also wanted to have the lower difficulties to be able to not have everyone be able to do them. Like obviously like beginner players aren't gonna be able to, but I want them to be able to have to be like mid game to be able to do some stuff, something. So however they can balance that, which is, you know, player balancing is good luck. But yeah, I would ideally, in a perfect world, I'd want the higher difficulties to be pretty challenging, tough. I want it to be probably some of the toughest stuff in the game. So yeah, like an 8. But then I would want the lower difficulties to be still accessible to the like mid game player as well. So
Okay.
however you can do that.
So no defined number.
I guess 8, I mean, I want it to be hard. I guess yeah, like 7, 8. I do want it to be a challenge. It's the new stuff, the new tough big boss. I do want it to be challenging.
Okay. Dab Master?
Yeah, I think PJ hit the nail on the head. I think it needs to be honestly a 9 or a 10 on the hardest, heaviest level, and I think they really need to capitalize on the easy, normal, hard, brutal, Nightmare, and Ultra Nightmare, whatever. They really need to capitalize that, and so I'm saying Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare being 9 or 10, easy being a 1 or 2 or 3. And I think they again kind of did good with Curse City. They kind of built it where it's extremely difficult for end game. All right, I still can't even do it without doing regears, and I refuse to do regears to complete it on hard. Normal is just a cheesecake, but normal I'd imagine is very challenging for early to mid game accounts, right? And they can still get some reward. They're not getting the best rewards, but they are getting something out of it. So I would love that, because honestly, I think everybody on this panel, right? We've all mastered Fire Knight Hard 10, and then they actually nerfed Twins, Sand Devils, and whatchamadoodle, Phantom, right? So I don't want them to where it's too hard and they do have to nerf it overall. I think you need that scaling. So I want it personally to be the next Fire Knight Hard 10 in terms of difficulty and building out a team to make it work, right?
Just to
like
suggest.
I said, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, I was just gonna say, and I like the wave idea. I like bringing 3 or 4 different teams to fight this thing in different ways, and it changes its mechanics as it goes, right?
Okay. So just a suggestion here for you. I started building my champions with stats over gear because I focused on getting my 20% ignore defense and speed for Cursed City, which ended up letting me have results with champions like I don't really need to have specific gear sets on them because I already have that Savage in.
It's like
but if you take a look,
Savage. Yeah.
Exactly. But if you look like Bob's favorite champion here, Husk, right?
I love Husk.
I have mine built.
Though.
Oh yeah,
Bob
this
actually
is.
like
Bob has a certain feeling about it, but like the build's not that crazy, right? I have a lot of other champions that I'm just building in whatever. It's not the best gear, but it's stats over sets at this point. Because you have that.
I've done that. I think it's more the stages that it's like I don't care to build those champions, and I just got my Carnage, so I'm just slower
that's
to
fair.
get in.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I do hear a lot of people say that Curse City is difficult because they have to do the regears. If you put that investment in those 2 slots, it helps out tremendously because again, within 4 or 5 days, this is all cleared up. Like, I don't have to worry about that because I have that extra Savage set built into every gear set.
Gotcha.
So
That's good. Yeah, it's just the weird ones that are so restrictive and the weak affinity, and it's like, okay, the only way to beat this is if I throw these crappy champions into a stun set, and I still have some at 50, and I'm just like, whatever. But I will give Sin City credit because they made me build more champions that I would have probably never built, right? So it's fun, and then it's like some new content comes up. I get to use it. Oh, cool! I get to use my owl.
right,
You know,
right.
so that's been fun.
But no, it's I really hope that they do justice with the difficulty ones. Like PJ was saying, ramp it up towards the end stage, you know, nightmare brutal ones. Keep it accessible at the lower ends. But keeping it accessible at the lower ends, where should accounts start being able to do the Great Void, right? I think for Hydra, you get introduced to it at like level 45. And I feel like sometimes, because you can pretty much blow right through 1 through 30 or 1 through 40 within about a week and a half or so. And unless you're a spender, you're not going to have a developed account to do it. So it kind of time gates you out of that. But where do you guys stand on where they should be able to kind of come into the Great Void and start working with that content? Gestal.
Actually, I thought 45 was pretty good for Hydra. When I started my free-to-play account, it was about it was right before Hydra came out, so I probably hit 45 right around when Hydra came out, and it, like, I could do 3 teams, and get like a minimum chest, and it helped me get Mithrala pretty quickly, and Mithrala like changes that account. And helped me get through a tremendous amount of counts. So I didn't think it was too. I mean, obviously it was too early in the sense that like I didn't have the chance to really do it, and yeah, I wasn't getting very far. I didn't get the top chest for probably months, and then I wasn't able to one key it for like probably a year or two. So like it took a while to progress up to it. But now that account's level 96, it's doing. It one keys brutal, hard, and normal. We don't really have anyone in that clan that's hitting nightmare, but I don't know if it could hit nightmare. But just to digress, I don't think it's a bad thing to start at 45. It'll probably be a little higher than that, I would assume, because it's like looked at as kind of end-game content. So it could be like 50.
Okay.
I think that would make sense.
Okay. PJ?
So I haven't really played on early game. I mean, like I've gotten other people's accounts, but like actually I'm like progressing through myself. I haven't done an early game account or account in a while, so I'm not super experienced with like how fast leveling is or not. But my initial thought was around 60, level 60-ish, to be able to unlock it.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long that takes to get to 60 or if that's a good spot or not, but that was kind of what jumped into my head.
Okay. Zero Brew?
Yeah, what's the highest any of the content is to unlock?
I believe it's
Is it 45?
50. I think Lab Arena opens at 50, doesn't it? Or is it 45? I think it's got to be somewhere around there. I think it's either 50 or 45.
Yeah, so I'm cool with them incentivizing it later, 60, maybe even 70. And I know that's tough for newer players, and if y'all are watching, I would rather you give the game a more longevity than to get to 50 and be like, oh, this game sucks and quit. So I think that'll help the community to keep people invested in progressing their accounts. Yeah, and I think hopefully they can earn something to progress their accounts out of it as well. But it does need to kind of be in game, because if Hydra's quote unquote in game, this needs to be beyond that, right? So
Right.
And Gestal, I think, made a very good point. I think you were able to do Hydra early on, and I had to use all 3 of my keys on the easiest mode, right? Just to get the one chest for the longest time. And over the years, it got, ramped up. And so I would hope that that's how this goes for those mid-game to late game accounts, right? Us in late game are probably going to be able to just go at it, but yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I remember when Hydra was first released, even endgame players were having difficulty trying to do normal and hard. I think it was, I think it was a while before we actually started getting into some nightmare stuff. So
Because they nerfed Hydra, that's why.
right, yeah, it was that it was not as easy as we expected it to be. So, Ken, where do you think players should be able to access this new content? At what level?
50 level.
50?
I think 50 level is okay. Yeah, because level up in the game, if you are not spender, is not that easy. Going to take some time. There's going to be probably difficulty on this mod, right? They are going to be maybe normal, maybe easy, maybe, you know, it's go up. So I like the people get something there, you know, as soon as possible. They don't need to max their chest, like the Gestal mentioned, you know, like people are saying, hey bro, I cannot do anything. And I'm telling them, can't you even get like lowest chest on the Hydra, because it can help give you fragment for the Mitrella, and you can eventually get her, and it can be game changer for you, you know. So yeah, I don't want them stay too much time on the game to unlock the content. Instead, they just try their best and get a little bit reward there as much as they can.
Agreed. All right, so the last and final question I want to ask you guys is going to be, how will Plarium fuck up the Great Void? What are they going to do to piss off the community and not wanting us to play it anymore? Ken.
I think difficulty wise, whenever it's first time released, it's going to be piss off the community. People gonna say, especially people are ready, you know, they are like literally spicy. We have a spicy community right now because we eat some spicy food recently, thanks to the Plarium serve it to us, and they need a reason to yell them, you know. So and yeah, and the difficulty wise, it's going to be a little bit challenging, but guys, like, it's everything is challenging, right? When they first time release it, right? We need to play test with them, you know, we need to be understand the mechanic stuff like that, and eventually it's will going to be all right, you know. Like, you guys remember like when the first time they released Amuse, and most of us probably doesn't have a problem on the Amuse now. So
well, I mean, they did buff Amius, so making it that we can't solo him anymore. But Gestal, what do you think the one thing they're gonna do to fuck up the Great Void and not make the community want to do it anymore is?
Well, I think Plarium is gonna make a perfect release of this, man, and it's gonna go swimmingly. No, I if I have to pick one thing, there'll probably be something like a Nogdar, I always say his name wrong. Something like that. Like one champ's just gonna be able to go in and solo it, one shot it, do a crazy trunda amount of damage on it. Maybe something like that will happen, and there'll be an exploit to the community gets the knowledge and it gets exploited, and they have to do a quick fix. That'll be my guess.
Okay, I'm looking at a lot of the comments here. Mythicals can only be used. Holy shit, that would be bad. PJ, what about you? What do you think Plarium will do to screw this up?
It's kind of like life. No one's gonna be, or not everyone's gonna be happy with what they do. But I think the biggest thing that they could hit or miss with this is gonna be the rewards. I think if the rewards are good, people are gonna be happy. I think if the rewards are not good, I think people are gonna be like, what is that? Like, what are those? Like, so I think if the rewards are gonna be big. If there's good rewards, people will do. If it's good enough rewards, people will do not really fun stuff. I mean, I hope that's not true. I hope it's fun and it's good rewards, but I think rewards are a big thing.
Okay, I think you're on the right track, but they'll just put in a daily quest there to make you go do it. Use a key in the Great Void. You know, I think that's definitely gonna happen. Dabmaster.
Yeah, so I think I expect them to set the bar very, very high in terms of difficulty and then lower it back. I think you said they did it with the Hydra. And Gestal, since he's a big Smite guy, I think every time they release a new champion in Smite, right, sometimes they're busted and overpowered, right? And then they do tweak it and scale it back some. So I just think, oh, that's hilarious. Thanks for making me the pink one.
Hey, I just
My
gotta say,
moves look,
wait a
look
minute.
amazing.
Wait a minute. Why is PJ the Green Ranger? The Green Ranger is the one in charge, and then it goes the Red Ranger.
They know.
He's got the green color. You're the yellow one, so that's awesome.
That's so funny.
Sabretooth
That's
Tiger, go.
amazing.
Go ahead. Sorry.
You gotta
That's
share that
amazing.
with us. I need that. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
funny.
That needs to be a thing. That look I got on my face, I don't know where. Yeah, screenshot. That's funny. All right, so I really think it'll be, and the same thing with this most recent thing, right? Like you said, they released Hydra and they scaled it back and made it where the Hydra was. Now they revamped it and made it a lot harder, and everybody's pissed off. So if they give us new content and piss everybody off from the start, they'll just peel it back and make it easier, and then make people, well, at least it's fixed from what it was before. So I expect it to be broken right out of the start, bar set really, really high, and then we'll see. And I think y'all are spot on, because I feel like every time they release new mechanics, there's something that breaks it instantly, and they have to hot fix it, right? Paragon cheese, the Nogdar stuff, you know, one-shotting Sand Devil and all that. So yeah, but you know what? If they jump on it and fix it, all the better. We'll see.
I think the one thing they're going to do is they're going to release a Clash event, and that's what's going to kill it, I think, because it's going to be another competitive mode that we're going to have to do. There's going to be obviously busted broken champions such as, you know, Nogdar and Trunda. They'll do the 10x, the 15x, and then people are just going to get pissed off about this. So I do feel like that's probably the one thing that is going to make me not want to do this.
Well, and just to go back to what you just said, I think they should not do that to it. And then maybe if they do it in later, do it. Because again, nobody cared about Hydra. I mean, everybody cared about Hydra, but nobody cared about doing 18 billion damage to Hydra until they added that competitive piece to it. So I think if they are planning on adding a competitive piece to doing that boss or the Great Void, then they really need to consider not rolling that out at the start, because, you know, as long as you get your top chest, you know, who cares, right?
Right.
Or
right.
create a competitive version that doesn't care about how much damage you do. Maybe come up with some new winning mechanics. Maybe it's, you know, do it with the least amount of turns, or I don't know, some sort of, you know, you count turns now, right? So
Right.
or
So
the most diverse champions or something. I don't know.
diverse champions. I don't know.
I'm just.
I feel like
There's
that.
80
that
million champs in the game, right? And if you can do all of these with the same, like if you could put Kriska in every single one of these teams and it just knocks it out of the park, then what's the point, right? So
yeah. No, I feel like Hydra was a good thing about only being able to use a champion once. I feel like if it's going to be something like that, I think that's definitely something that I would welcome. But again, we're going to have to see exactly what happens. That said, okay, Zero Brew has just done a poll, so make sure you guys vote on that.
wait, what's the poll?
I don't know. Poll active noon for Zero Brew. It just came up on me, telling me,
Oh, no.
Pink Boy, what should we name you? That said, Ken, where can everybody come and find you?
FinalKenpachi, both YouTube and the Twitch, streaming every single day, guys, on the Columbus Reset. Yes, I know Columbus doesn't have the exact same time for everybody, but you know, when the timer has started, we are going live. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much, Red Ranger. Blue Ranger, aka Gestal Gaming.
Oh, that's me, yeah. Gestal Gaming on YouTube and Twitch. I stream Sunday through Friday. I start at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's 2 hours before reset. And I've been doing some free-to-play live arena with that extra hours, so it's been kind of
Nice.
fun. You want to come check that out.
Nice. Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver. What do you got?
MX, excuse me, MXPJE on Twitch. We stream pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day. Play other games as well. Actually, started playing another gacha game. Started playing Honkai, trying that out. But yeah, play DBD, but Braid's definitely the main squeeze, main game.
Okay. Kimberly, Pink Ranger, Tyrannosaurus, go.
Kimberly. Damn it! I'm trying to do the Pink Ranger vote, Mr. Pinky Boy. And so I'm just spamming. I'm spamming it too. Oh, I give up. Pinky Boy. Oh, dang it.
93, dude.
All right. Well, y'all can find me on the Twitches at Zero Brew, and on the YouTubes is at Zero Brew, and on the TikToks is I'm there every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday evenings, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Come hang out.
Awesome. Ken, what you got for a shout out for me?
I like to shout out a person from our family, MXPGE. He's a great guy. He's actually very fun. He just a little bit salty when he using his what was that mythical name, PJ?
Androck?
Androck, yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
On the Hydra because of the 3%. But beside that, guys, he stream Raid, he stream many different games. And right now he start playing Honkai Star, which is we was talking about that. And I'm gonna leave his channel over there, so make sure to follow, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Definitely go check out PJ. A lot of fun to have. I do kind of miss his streams because I don't work late nights anymore, but maybe I'll stay up and watch him tonight. Speaking about PJ, what you got for a shout out?
All right, we are doing a shout out for Sergeant Badshot. Really good dude. Dropping his link in chat. Does account help, account takeovers. Really good guy. Loves singing, chilling, and yeah, check him out if you guys are not familiar with him.
Awesome. Gestal, what you got for a shout out for me?
I'm shouting out my man Airfern2. Go give him a follow. He's been on the stream I think at least once. Awesome dude, man. And I'm also a founding member in his in the sub thing. So that means you guys got to give him some follows to keep him streaming so I can keep that number 1 there.
Awesome.
Selfish.
I don't agree with his nerf Gina situation, but we'll have to discuss that again. Zero Brew, what about you, man? What you got for a shout out for me?
Well, since I have been named Pinky Boy, let's go with the OG Pinkster, Mr. Pogo PinkTie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. I got to do it the right way. But yeah, give him a follow. He's awesome. We got to get him on the show sometime. He's a cool cat. And he sports the pink. So Pogo PinkTie. There it is.
Nice. So mine is actually going to go to Mr. Scratch for celebrating his birthday. He leveled up, so congratulations to him.
Nice.
I love Scratch. I'm not going to lie. Like, he's one of the creators that I wanted to do a collab with so much. I just don't have the time right now, unfortunately. But big, huge shout out to him. He's still one of the guys that I always watch every single video. So next week, we will not have a podcast. I unfortunately... for you guys, we'll be spending time with my family. We're bringing the kids down to, Universal Studios. So we're going to go see Harry Potter and stuff. So we will be back the week after, which is Thanksgiving week in the US, streaming on Sunday. So I feel we're going to have a lot of things going on over the next 2 weeks. We're going to have a great discussion coming back to it. And I hope to see you all there. I hope you all enjoy your 2 weeks off. Just remember, guys, it's a game. Have some fun. Don't go crazy over it. Do what you can and then get the hell out. And if it's too much, go touch some grass like Ken says. So Twitch side, we're going to actually raid Mr. Pogo PinkTie over on the Twitch. And everybody else on the YouTube side, thank you all so much for hanging out. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.
No. What?
All
You
right.
just dragged your ass out.